Hello everyone, this is Robin again. This video is all about a new legal concept. We have talked a lot about gender neutrality and discrimination on the ground of gender, gender equality. We have been into discussions about several other topics which are associated with male and female, especially in various spheres of life. But in today's video, we are going to cover one of the most interesting, which is also similar to what sort of previous forms of discussions I have just revealed to you. This topic is all about share of crime, especially of female to society. Means what rate of crime is contributed by female to society, and therefore the topic goes on the theme called female criminality. We will also look into some disparities related to how male criminal contribution to societies are different from females contribution to society about crime. So let's begin with this today's topic. Before I come on this topic, let me take you through some important historical realities which are very significant in today's context, because whenever we deal with any topic such as female and their participation and their contribution in any way to society, we have to first look at their positions in the society, and this somewhere helps to get the right understanding, the clear picture of how things go on and how facts could be related to female and their contribution to society. We all know that in last almost 1,000 years the country has unleashed immense atrocities and brutality on women community. This has been under Mughal as well as under British Empire, and this very male dominating element in Indian society has been so much prevalent that we can even have the traces of then period in today's current situation. So whenever we try to understand female as overall personality, as a contributor to society, we have to go into the detail of to what extent of freedom they have got in the male dominating society. And this is important because until you find out some important revelations, you cannot extract the clear picture of the women and the data about their criminal behavior as a participation to society. When we talk about male domination, we also refer this to a state of society where women have no that freedom in their life to take their own decisions. And it goes with the line or the concept which was very prevalent at one point of time. However, the prevalent is or maybe no longer exist, but it won't be surprised to have the same kind of uh, perception about women in some remotest part of area where illiteracy still prevails. And that perception was that women lacks women lacks means reason, logical ability, and therefore decisions which are important in life cannot be taken cannot be taken by this community. So we can understand, if women has been that much suppressed, then how the same community can go full-fledgedly and unleash terror in the form of crime to society. It therefore has to be understood then what kind of crime the women has committed, and what share or the percentage of crime the women contributes to society. The next part comes in this video, that even when we have a data which reveals the very diabolical state of society in which women are coming out as an equal participator in crime to society, but it is still not a clear picture, for a reason that women as a criminal force in society is always different from what male commits. We have a data recently that reveals that out of 100 heinous crimes, women as a participative member in crime or element only contributes less than 1% of the total crime in this heinous degree of crime. So this alone gives us a clear very idea of how women as a criminal part of society should be construed in this very context. So with this data, we can at least confidently make our own personal conclusion that women may contribute crime to society, but their participation is still trivial, very marginal. One more thing also associated with this very data, when we have the current data which significantly ignores women to consider as a criminal element of society, we understand women always and always involved in those crimes which are either looked down upon by society members. Looked down upon means that these crimes don't have much sort of concern, especially when it is seen in the context of society, and therefore women mostly are not seen as a criminal part of the society. Now, in this introduction, we have almost covered how women could not be considered as a major criminal force in the society equivalent to what is done by male. Now, the next important part in this video comes out, which basically helps us, especially on the technical level of this discussion, as to how you and me can understand women as a criminal element in society. So these two important theories come out. One is classical theory, and the second is your contemporary theory. Classical theory only deals with women and their participation based on their biological behavior, because classical theory deals with women as biologically different from male, which is true in one sense, but how it is seen when women contributes crime to society. The major part is contributed in this very theory by Lombroso. He writes in his very examination of biological differences that women have from men or male. He simply says that women, since are biologically different, and therefore they are very much primitive in nature comparing to male, and therefore we don't find much evolution, especially in the biological behavior of women, and this makes women less prone towards crime comparing to male. He also says one thing, that women is somehow an occasional offender. Here occasional offender refers to the state of being where the women contributes crime, but by being influenced under some dominating figures in a society. We have already discussed that in India, male has a prevalent domination in all spheres of life, and these women, mostly when influenced by male, commit crime and present themselves equivalent to male. The second important point he raises, after that women being as occasional offender, women is also an historical offender. Here historical offender, he implies that historical means person who has some mood swings issues. We have already dealt with women how different biologically from male, and therefore mood swings kind of issues are very much prevalent, you can say, in and common in women biological conduct than male. And out of the influence, or out of this, as a result, as a consequence, women end up committing crime. The next one is passion of crime, in which Lombroso says that 1% of women is also as such, which is somewhere tantamount to male, especially in the way they conduct in the society. And therefore, Lombroso treats this very category of women, which is very much least in percentage, as masculine. Lombroso believes that a woman who commits crime and which is heinous in nature, that requires male attitude or male behavioralism, then when a woman does that, then in that case women must be considered as having masculine traits. So here he defines and puts a bit difference between masculinity and femininity. He actually supports femininity as a natural biological part of women, but in rare cases when women develops this very masculinity in them, then they end up committing crime which are very much similar in nature committed by those of male. So we have discussed this very classical theory made by Lombroso, and we have already discussed these three important forms of crime and its nature being usually committed by, or under the influence of this, being committed by women. Next, we move to, which is also very important, is the contemporary theory. If I can say in one sentence what contemporary theory is all about, then we can simply understand this by the kind of feminism evolved in people, especially in the support and the favor of women, after they have found such a suppressing condition, oppressing conditions in which women lived. Then this contemporary theories involving some of those writers who are vehemently against of the writings of those classical theory, as they don't support, especially on those grounds, with these classical theories writers and authors who believes that women in some occasions are even more, you can say, criminal in nature than men, means they do more sordid commissions or offenses than a male does. In these particular points or on these particular grounds, these contemporary theories come out and extend their support to women community, and they said it that these are nothing but stereotypes of some writers who always want women to be leading as a second subject, which is not liberal but subordinate to the male community. And in most of the uh, contemporary theories and their writers are somewhere putting some criticism against number of writings of these kinds of uh, classical theories writers, whatever they have talked about women as a participant in criminal activities. Now we now move to the last part of this video, but this part has to be understood from other point of view, because this last part deals with how women has contributed more crime in societies, especially in last few decades. And there are some reasons which need to be held accountable for why this has been today's society condition. We have Freda, the one who actually puts this reason forward in a more explicit term. He says that ever since the difference between women and or female or male has been reduced and equality has been supported, in fact has been advocated as being experienced by millions and millions of females in the country, then it is also found that women, after being in connection with male, have developed the same qualities, same attitude what male possesses, and therefore the crime rate has been increased due to the changing behavior in female. And therefore he extends one of his surveys in which he says that in last 3 or 4 decades there are several such crimes which were rarely seen being committed by female in a society, but now has been very much commonplace that these crimes being committed by the same female living in the society. And therefore he somewhere reflects how equality that was brought up by the constitution has been, you can say, uh, uh, negative, or you can say has been futile in order to present or in order to move the society ahead in all spheres of life. For example, he says that due to giving so much openness to women and liberties, late night parties which are becoming so much common in metropolitan cities, women at once were afraid of having liquor, toxic intoxication substances, are now taking equally as men have. And therefore, as we have, or as we will discuss in the next few videos about alcohol and how it speeds up crime rate, we will find out that women who are in the habit or very much in a regular connection of these kinds of uh, beverage and consumption, then such women are very much hell-bent towards committing crime. So these few points which I have raised, and these points were raised in order to have a clear picture about how female criminality has to be understood, especially when we see women and female as a contributor in crime to society. We have discussed Lombroso's classical theory. We have discussed Freda's, the very point in which he to some extent can be seen against of equality being sub to women and how it has been misused. And the first important thing we have discussed, that women, since being under oppression for thousands and thousands years, then to what extent we could actually understand them as a shareholder in crime to society. So on this note, I end up this video. We will meet in another video related to new legal concept. Till then, take care. Bye bye.